Good day, everyone. So today's session will feature Kabiguru Rabindranath Thakur. Now, I refuse to call him Rabindranath Tagore because, for first and foremost, I am a Bengali, and in Bengali, it's not Tagore, it's Thakur. And the story or prose poem that I've got for you today is from his anthology called Lipika, which I borrowed from my friend Sreeja Mitra's exhaustive library. Now, this particular session will be quite short because I will not be narrating The King's Jester. I will be reading it out from an English translation of Lipika, which is what I could pick up from Srija's library. So, without further ado, this is Kabiguru Rabindranath Thakur's The King's Jester from Lipika. The king of Kanchi set out to conquer Connaught. He was victorious. His elephants were laden with sandalwood, ivory, jewels of every kind. On the way back to his land, he stopped to worship at the temple of the goddess Balishuri, bathing the place in the blood of sacrifice. See him leaving the temple, in robes of red, a garland of red hibiscus around his neck, a red sandal paste sign upon his forehead. With him are two only, his minister and his jester. He notices some boys at play at a spot off the side of the road, in a mango grove. Let's see what they are playing at, says the king to his two companions. The boys had set up dummies in two rows and were playing a game of war. The king asked who's fighting against whom. They said Kanchi against Connaught. The king asked who's winning, who's losing. The boys swelled with pride and said, Connaught has won, Kanchi lost. The minister frowned deeply. The king's eyes turned red. The jester burst out laughing. When the king returned with his soldiers, the boys were still playing. The king issued an order: tie each boy to a tree, flog them. Their mothers and fathers came hurrying from the village. They begged. They have no sense. They were only playing. Forgive them. The king called his general and said, teach this village the kind of lesson to make them remember the king of Kanchi forever. And he went off to his camp. When dusk fell, the general stood to attention before the king. Saluting, he said, great king, except for jackals and dogs, you will hear no sound now from that village. The minister said, the honor of the great king is restored. The priest said, the almighty goddess blesses the great king. The jester said, great king, bid me farewell. The king exclaimed, why? The jester said, I cannot kill, I cannot maim. By the grace of God, I can only laugh. If I stay on in the great king's court, I will not know how it is done. That was The King's Jester from an English translation of the anthology Lipika, translated by Joe Winter, written by Kabiguru Rabindranath Thakur, borrowed from the library of Sreeja Mitra. That is all I've got for you today. And the reason I narrated this out to you directly from the source material, this book, is because I do not have what it takes to do anything with Rabindranath's work. I respect him too deeply. And one day I hope I'll be able to read Bengali, rediscover Rabindranath in my original mother tongue. So this is a somewhat emotional experience for me. I hope you enjoyed it. Until next week, please stay safe, stay vigilant. If news reports are to be believed, Corona is coming again. And we all know what it did in 2020. And I shudder to think what it's going to do in 2021. This is the Bilge Master, signing off.